My husband, some hot shot. Here's his ancient Chinese secret. That was an old advertisement from the 70s. It was for a laundry detergent. And It was a very racist commercial. They opened up with, it said Chinese laundry. And of course, he was Chinese and his wife was there. And they're like, Mr. Wang, how do you get your shirt so clean? He goes, shh, ancient Chinese secret. And his wife is like in the back saying, oh, my husband, some hotshot. Here's his ancient Chinese secret. It's called gain.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes,
that's
totally racist.
Amazing.
Totally racist.
Totally sucks.
And I'll tell you, when I was a kid, and people said they were racist, I thought they were talking about having a race.
I know. You are okay. Well, I hope you win. Good luck. I'm racist. Okay, good luck.
I'm a professional racist.
They pay me for it. They pay me a lot of money to be racist.
That's right. It's like, are all those people running in the long run? Those are all racist, aren't they? They're all racing. Wow, we are.
Look. There's a Chinese one. There's a white. Okay. Anyway.
Oh wow, we're totally off the rails already. We haven't even rolled the credits once again.
Let's do it. Let's better do it.
Let's roll those credits. This is Barely Furcasting, featuring Taebyn, an Injured Nerves audio production. Well, Moobarkfluff, and greetings to all our listeners and creatures in the Potiverse. I am Potiverse. I am Barely Normal.
It's the verse of the new song, the pot of.
That's right, Potiverse. Yes, I am Barely Normal, your co-hoster with a new toaster, and with me today is that silly pup, that crazy canine Taebyn. How the fluff are you, Taebyn?
Well, I'll tell you. Do you really have a new toaster?
I do. I really have a new toaster.
Oh, wow. Hey, yeah. You weren't even hit. Wow. You started out with a CEU of sorts already. Mm-hmm. But yes. Okay, it's been a busy week. Been running around doing the things. You know, I realized, because this is February. Well, yeah, we started February now.
We did,
and
yes.
The 22nd of this month is on a Tuesday this month. So that means it will be 2/2/22. It will be a Tuesday.
A Tuesday, that's 2/22/22.
Right, and so we call it Tuesday. That means that at 2:22 p.m. or a.m., it will be 2/2/22/222. That's fun to say.
Well,
I don't know.
Our neighbor across the street, they're due to have a baby in February, and they're hoping for a 2/22 birthday.
Because then they'll have, and what if they did have the baby at 22 in the afternoon?
That'd be great, yeah. It's like I said, hey, you guys going to induce labor so that the baby is born at 2/22 on 2/22?
Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is a anyone's lifetime opportunity here. So,
and somewhere in the world, a baby will be born at 2/22 in the morning or the afternoon.
What's the lucky baby that's going to have? They better name the baby like Tucson. I don't know. What's a Tucson? Name? Tucson.
Name the baby Tucson. Yes.
Hey, this is my son, Tucson.
Tucson.
Because they were born on 2/22/22.
Right. There you go. Oh, wow. Oh, so what have you been up to this week besides running around and stuff like that?
I don't even remember. You know how things are. You just don't remember things. It's like, I know I did something like every day for the last days, but I don't even remember what I did. It's like, it's done. Whatever it was, it's done. I hope it was productive.
I woke up, I went to bed, I started a new day, so something happened yesterday. That's really all that matters, right? This week was the big parental move to the assisted living.
Oh,
so
that's this week. I wasn't sure if that was now or later. So how'd that go?
So that was... well, we hired burly young men to help move everything.
Okay, good.
And that went over. That was good. I mean, these kids, they're probably 17, 18, 19 years old. Whew, wow. Okay. They were lifting things that would take three of us to lift. It's like, okay, where do you want it?
Good for you.
Wow, good for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
So, nice.
So they're all moved in, and are they happy about it, or how are they doing?
Well, happy is relative.
But true, especially when it comes to your relatives.
So, let's get along, little doggy. Let's get along to the weekly challenge. The challenge is find us some interesting guests to have on the show. Our guest pool has seemed to have kind of dried up lately. For a long time, we were having guests every week, but now it just seems like maybe we've just tapped all the interesting guests, but there's got to be other interesting guests out there.
There's got to be. There's a lot of furs out there. So
there's literally thousands of furs out there.
There are literally. At least one of them's got to be interesting.
Right. Yeah. So write in and tell us who might make a good guest, and we will reach out to them and make things happen. Like happenstance. Yeah.
Stance. That is the stance we are taking. So it happens. And I have a little story, Fairly. I can tell. That's what you were waiting for. That's adorable. I love how you did that.
Yes.
Come on, Taebyn. I'm waiting. You wrote this. You should know what's coming next.
You wrote it in the script. So the script? It's in the script.
It's a
Miss Moneypenny.
Sticky
Miss Moneypenny, let's go to town.
Ceramic figurine.
My Bond, James Bond. That's my name.
That was a definite Sean Connery you had there.
Sean Connery, yes.
So,
Sean
hi.
Connery.
My little story I have. It's a sweet, cute little story about two prawns.
Two prawns.
Two of them.
Okay.
Two prawns were swimming around in the ocean. One was named Justin, and the other one was named Christian. The prawns were constantly being harassed and threatened by sharks that inhabited the area.
Okay.
Finally, one day, Justin said to Christian, "I'm fed up with being a prawn. I wish I was a shark, and then I wouldn't have to worry about being eaten all the time." Suddenly, a large, mysterious codfish appeared and said, "Your wish is granted." Lo and behold, Justin turned into a shark, just like that. Just like that. Horrified, Christian immediately swam away, afraid of being eaten by his old friend. Well, time passed, as it does, and Justin found life as a shark actually pretty boring and lonely. All of his old friends simply swam away whenever he came close to them. Poor Justin. Justin didn't realize that his new menacing appearance was the cause of his sad plight. While swimming alone one day, he saw the mysterious cod again, and he thought perhaps the mysterious fish could change him back into a prawn. He approached the cod and begged to be changed back, and lo and behold, he found himself turned back into a prawn. With tears of joy in his tiny little eyes, Justin swam back to Christian's home. As he opened the coral gate, memories came flooding back. He banged on the door and shouted, "It's me, Justin, your old friend. Come out and see me again." Christian replied, "No way, you will eat me. You're now a shark. The enemy, and I will not be tricked into being your dinner." Justin cried back, No, I'm not. That was the old me. I have changed. I found cod. I'm prawn again, Christian.
Oh, no. Oh, that was a long journey to a really, really good pun.
Awesome. Yes.
That was a long journey to a really good pun.
Yay, I did it.
I found cod. I'm prawn again, Christian. I love it.
I thought it was adorable, and it's like, I got to read this on the pod.
I have to remember that. I will tell my sister Eileen, who's still here, who was on our show last week. So I'll have to tell her that when we're done. I'm going to go tell her that joke
right away.
Cool. And if it was Alex, he would say, "Open the door, Juan. I found the fish. I'm a shrimp again."
Mr. Caesar salad.
Right. Yes. So let's get to the past today. I want to talk about the Ursa Major Award. We mentioned that last week, and we said, who is it sponsored by? And as I looked it up, it's sponsored by the Ursa Major Awards Committee. So it's actually
that would make sense.
That's who sponsors it. And we are, in fact, on the recommended list under magazines for the 2021.
Oh, we did get there. Okay,
yes.
Good for us.
Somebody nominated it or put us on the list, but it wasn't me because, A, they spelled barely wrong.
Oh, no.
And they said it's a podcast hosted by Taebyn. No mention of me.
What?
Nothing. So, yes. So it's so I guess who the important player is on this podcast. So you have a nice podcast show. I'm going to go downstairs and have dinner.
Okay, bye.
You're on your own. Bye.
Thanks for showing up for a second. Oh, that's so sad. So if we get nominated this year, I sure hope that doesn't happen. If it does, some fur correct that or something.
Look at that. We're on there. Oh, but we're really not because it's just
really not.
It's just you spelled wrong. It's just me spelled wrong.
It's just me. It's Taebyn Furcasting featuring Fairly's husband.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, but so we're on the list at least. That's pretty good. So, and then you have a side note about there's another open besides the Ursa Majors.
Yes. And we talked about this before, but I just thought since you mentioned that, it might be worth just noting to every fur. So we've got actually 2 Furry Award nominations that are currently open for this year. There's the Ursa Major Award. So you can just, I think it's just ursamajораwards.org, I believe is the web address. You can go there and nominate all your favorite voice actors and magazines and podcasts even. Hint, hint. And if you wanted to nominate a podcast, you would go put it under the magazines category, actually, is where they put it. So there's that. They always have really great stuff every year, I think. Lots of fun, interesting people to hear about. And furs. Yes. And also is the Good Furry Award we talked about a few weeks ago from Ask Papa Bear. Yes. If you go to askpapabear.org or com. I forget which it is.
It's one of those two. But it's if you just type in... If you just go to the Googler and type in Ask Papa Bear, it'll pop. You'll right find
up. It'll pop right up. And so if you go there, you can nominate. You can hear us talk about this a few weeks ago, but you can nominate for a good furry and do that. And so you can, and that's great. And those nominations, I believe the Good Furry nominations close in April, I believe, something like that. And he will be presenting the award at a con this year, I think he said. So,
ooh, how exciting!
Yeah, not just nominating.
Exciting!
I think Ursa Major Awards are open. I don't remember when they close. I want to say March, or June or something.
The list of people to consider, because he puts out put people on a list to consider, and then that list is closed, and so the only people that are on that list can be voted for. I think is the way that works.
Oh, okay, okay.
But go to the website, read the rules, or read the rules.
The rules are pretty nice too.
The rules are pretty nice. It's just, it's out there. So, and one other thing I want to talk about the past today, because last week Eileen was on the show, as we know.
Yay.
And on Sunday, I took her to the axe throwing place here in Salem to throw axes.
Yeah, you talked about that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's never thrown axes, but she beat me 5-2 as we were playing. Yeah, and the fourth game we played, she hit 5 bullseyes in a row.
What the cow? Really?
Yeah, really.
Kudos to give her a big hug for me.
It's like how she's like, I beat you. It's like yeah. It's always little sisters like to beat their big brothers at everything. You see, we're a very competitive family, but
it's true. Yeah. It's very true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you got a lot to live up to for.
Right. And then we talked about the Get Out the Float event coming up in May in Seaside. And I talked about something called Upside Down Seaside, which is actually called the Seaside Inverted Experience. Oh, and if you go there, that's because if you're walking up and down saying, "Where's Upside Down Seaside?" you won't find it. So don't look for that.
They'll be like the closest place you could go to is the bakery, because they do have upside down cakes, but that's about as close as you're going to get.
Yep. So that's the past today. Do you have any past today other than what we talked about already?
I do. I have 2 little things. One was
I'm sorry.
Me too. That's why it's. I'll just not even go. I don't know. Poor prawn. I have 2 little prawns and born again Christian. I don't know.
I'm prawn again Christian.
Oh my cow! So the episode, season 2, episode 39, several weeks ago, when we had Ben Diskin on the episode. It doesn't have to do about him, but that was the episode. Which, by the way, I was just finally started listening to today, and wow, that Ben is talented. He can do a lot with his voice. My cow.
Very talented. Yes.
But in the media section, you were talking about a show you were watching, and how Boba Fett was the Mandalorian. What show was that? I don't.
It's called Boba Fett, but then I was informed, or the Book of Boba Fett, or something like that. But I was informed that Boba Fett was not a Mandalorian. Oh. I had a lengthy discussion with Rain about how he is not a Mandalorian. He was only a bounty hunter that happened to be wearing a stolen Mandalorian armor. So, see, I did not know these things.
Armor leg? Ha! Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, good. So we have another CEU earned just now that I didn't know I would earn.
Right.
Now, so I bring this up because I realized later, I didn't bring it up then because I didn't think about it, but when I was listening to this, I realized that, a Mandalorian is like a big person thing. I have literally always thought that a Mandalorian was like a special Star Wars hovercraft or car or something. And so I know there's the show Mandalorian. And I thought, oh, it's an offshoot of the Star Wars car thing. But apparently it's not.
No, it is not.
Okay, so that's that thing. And then also last week, season 2, episode 40, we referenced raising money for Omnom's and Mark Bark's charity.
Mm-hmm.
And for ALS, and so that was great. They raised lots of money, but we forgot exactly how much it raised. We were like, I think it was like $100 or something. So we went back, and we raised $224.
Yes.
It turned out. So it was more than I remembered. That was really great. Anyway, those are my pasts today, Prod.
Well, awesome. Well, IWII, I'm going to post the link for 5 Minute Furs. So we're going to see if anyone comes in tonight, and we'll go on with other things as we wait. Okay, so
IWII.
You mentioned last week you made up a new word. I wrote it down. Flumber Dust.
Oh, that one. Yes. Very important. Very important.
Yes. It's an extremely rare and fine dust which results from the dark forces transmogrifying confetti during ticker tape parades.
Transmogrifying is important part.
Transmogrifying confetti, yes. And the dust is used to enhance the furry experience. It's kind of like pixie dust, but it's furry dust, you see. So
yes.
you sprinkle it, furry dust, and there you have it. Everything is better. So not fairy dust, but furry dust, you see.
It is free. Is it akin to like Taebyn spores? Do I have some Flumber Dust in me?
No, it has to be transmogrified confetti.
Oh, right. Okay,
yes,
it has to be.
It can't just be Taebyn spores or furry spores. Yeah.
Okay. This is good to know. Important. Another CEU already. This is amazing.
Right. So I want to mention, I was lamenting several weeks ago about how I had my dates all mixed up in my head about different things.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, they were messed up because the calendar book, the planner book I had, was misprinted. And the days were wrong. And so as I was planning things for 2022, the days were wrong in the calendar.
That is not useful.
That is not useful at all. No. In fact, if I look at this week in my old book, and today is what's today's date? Today is the 27th. We're recording on the 27th. And in the old book, January 27th is a Friday.
Oh, see, off by a day is not good.
Not good at all. No, not good at all. So I had to buy a new book. And of course, I made sure that it had the right days in it.
Lesson learned. Did you write a nasty email to whoever made that old book?
Well, I didn't think much about it when it came because they said, be sure and check your book. It might be wrong. We had a misprint. And I bought it from Amazon. And I had opened up the calendar. I looked at the main calendars and they were all okay. I looked at the calendar on the wall and I said, oh, that's fine.
Seemed fine.
But I didn't pay attention to it until, 3 weeks in. So, but I got a new calendar now.
Yay.
And it works just fine. Hooray. So
it works
I'm
just
surprised
fine.
I didn't.
Do you pay it very much? Does it work that fine?
I don't pay it much at all. I paid attention, but that's about it.
Well, attention is a nice guy, so it's good to pay him too. Yeah.
Yes. Indeed. So that was my indeed. So in the deed.
Sorry,
it's in the deed. It's in the deed, and the deed is good. The deed is good.
Wallaby, circumference,
cohesive.
Oh my cow! So, Mr. Burley, do you have anything in your mailbag for us this week?
I do. On the BFFT chat, there was this whole chain of stuff about give me death or give me cake.
Oh, really? And I did not see that.
I think it's from Izzy Izzard or whatever his name is, the British comedian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I started thinking about many, many years ago. Now, this is the dark hour, so we're going to talk a little bit about a thing that happened badly to somebody. It's one of Alex's cousins. Alex is my husband. One of his cousins, when I was first starting to go out with him, one of his cousins committed suicide. Now, suicide is bad.
Oh.
If you had suicidal thoughts, please get help. It gets better. We have We have a PSA about that. It gets better. Now, that being said, he did himself in by shooting himself. And it was very sad and very, but they are rednecks from the word go.
Okay.
Alex says, well, would you like to go to the funeral with me? And I was like, well, yes, I'm your new boyfriend. I want to be there to support you. And so we go to the redneck funeral. And oddly enough, when his grandma had bought her grave plots, she had an opportunity to buy a third, like she got a 2-for-1 special. And
like
so she
bought a
third.
Bath and Beyond or something.
I guess she bought an extra funeral plot because it's like, well, it was on sale, so I picked it up. And it's like, oh, okay. So that's where we set the cousin. And then we go back to the redneck house where his parents were. And of course,
you bypassed the fridge on the front porch.
Oh, it was several motorhomes welded together to make the house.
Oh my cow! So when you were talking redneck from the get-go, you meant redneck from the get-go. Okay.
Yes. Yep. There were 2 kegs of PBR on the front porch, but the good stuff was around the back. They had a keg of Killian's Red back there.
Oh, people need to stop making stereotypes so true sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, okay.
Anyway, so yes, and they did actually have a school bus welded on as a spare bedroom. And
this is hilarious. Yeah, it's sad but hilarious.
Sad but hilarious. And we're standing around talking outside. It was a summer day, and we're talking and we're chatting. And of course, the buffet is out there under the easy up canopies. And Alex says, we're talking to cousins, and I said, I'm going to go over and get some food because I'm hungry. So I walk over, and I'm behind one of Alex's aunts, who we were visiting with when we were standing there talking. I'm walking up, and I'm getting the food, and I get to the end where the desserts are, and there's a cake. There's a sheet cake that they bought for the funeral, right?
Okay.
And it says, we'll miss you so much. Sorry you had to leave us so early. And they had 2 6-shooters on there.
Really? Like on the cake?
Really? On the cake, yes.
Were they real, or was it the frosting?
No, they were like little toy guns.
Oh my God.
Right?
I'm really not sure what to say about this, actually.
I wasn't either. I stood there. I actually literally stopped in my tracks, and I looked at it, and I looked up at Alex, and I waved him over, and I said, you're not going to believe this. Look at the cake. And he was like, oh my God. Did nobody think this through?
I'm so glad that Alex had that fine sense back then.
I was like, oh no. Wow. Why would you do that? Oh. But same family, just recently, we lost Aunt to COVID, and she was a very big drinker. Unfortunately, she passed. She didn't survive the COVID, and at her funeral, everybody got a little bottle of Jack Daniels to take home.
I was like, what? Oh, come on! I mean,
it's like, what?
Oh, let's mourn for the passing. This is a sad day.
Right.
Here,
yes.
On your way out of the church, grab a bottle of Jack. Please, just grab
absolutely.
a bottle.
Yes.
What better way to mourn the passing of? Oh,
I know.
Cow.
It's just terrible. But that was my mailbag because I wanted to talk about that. And I promised everybody in the chat that I would talk about it on today's show. So There we go.
There we go. Mm-hmm. So that's a death cake then you have there.
That's the death cake, yes.
Nice.
Give me death or give me cake, or give me both. Clearly, it's okay.
You can have both. You can take your cake and shoot your mouth with it too.
That's right. Don't shoot your mouth off.
Don't shoot your mouth off. So I do have a mailbag, but I don't want to be it's not long, but I don't want to be interrupted.
Well, I'm guessing you won't be. You've got like 1 minute before we take the thing down. So
TikTok said in the chat, join in Fuzzbutts, and Ski Sharp said we. 2 minutes, so I don't. But no one's here, so
no one's here. So it's going to go down now. So what time is it? Yes,
it's 6:40. Yes. Yeah.
Yep, time to go down.
They missed it. They missed it. Oh my cow.
We'll see if somebody pops in just at the last minute.
Like that one time that was so crazy, like the last millisecond. Well, I can officially now. So I put this in our mailbag because I've mentioned before I subscribe to like a math forum, question answer forum type thing. And every now and then you get different things. And the question in this particular forum post was, what is the ship of Theseus? Theseus. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that. It's not the Theseus or the us. It's Theseus. Help me say this word.
I don't know what the word is. Theseus or Thesis?
Theseus.
I've never heard of that word.
Theseus.
Theseus. Okay.
So this is the ship of Theseus paradox. And so he says what the paradox is. And it goes, let's say we have a ship and it's a nice ship, but after a while, the wood starts to rot. So we replace all the wood. And then a while later, we replace the sails. And then a while later, we replace the hooks. And so the question is it still the same ship or is it a new ship? And then... so, yeah, I mean, that's actually an interesting question. I never heard of this. And then it goes on to say, let's go a step further. Let's say we kept all the pieces of the ship that we replaced and use them to make another ship, an identical one. Is this one the original or a different one? And so, of course, the question, what really makes something truly original? It's really actually interesting to think about. And so the person who put this answer wrote on to say, and this is kind of a nice little kind of sentimental, in a way, moral he does. He says, with humans, as you age, you'll start to grow new teeth, new cells, new hair, etc. So are you still the same person? And he goes on to say, physically, you're not entirely the same person. However, I think your emotions, feelings, and experiences are what make you who you are. Which is very cool. I thought that was very cool. But so that's the paradox and kind of this nice little thing. And there are some really cool, I like comments because then he goes on at the very end. He says, "I am open to any suggestion edits to this post you have." And one person said, "If it is edited one line at a time until all the text has been changed, will it still be the same answer?"
That's
and then
carrying it to its nth degree.
It is. And then, well, how about n+1? Someone responded to that. No, but the emotions, feelings, and experiences of the former answer remain the same. And I thought that was awesome. Anyway, that's my mailbag.
Well, as you were talking about that, I looked up Theseus.
Oh, okay.
And he is a Greek legend, a legendary legend, a legendary hero from Greek mythology.
Oh,
who is considered an early king of Athens. He's famous for killing villains, Amazons, and centaurs.
I'm wondering why this is called the ship of Theseus paradox. Then there were no like four-legged things in here.
I don't know. So maybe I'll have to read a little bit deeper, and we'll put that on the past today when I do a little more. Because there's a lot about Theseus.
Oh, okay.
And he even has his own labyrinth in the labyrinth of Knossos.
Oh, I will be excited and wagged to hear about this next week. All you furs, pay attention next week when we hear from Barely about Theseus and the maze and the things.
It'll be a week of Greek mythology. Bum ba bum bum ba. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, so that brings us up to. I think we should play some this or that. We're going to punch that right in. We're going to punch that in right now. Punch. Are you ready to play some this or that?
I am ready like a steady.
Okay, we are up to.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know how we got. I was trying to do 5 at a time.
We skipped media.
Did we skip media?
We skipped media.
Well, then let's skip on back to media.
Skip to the media.
Skip to the media. All right.
Skip to my media, my cow. Moo.
Skip to my loo, my darling.
Oh, see, I know why. Because I put I wrote things in the wrong place. That's why.
Oh no! I blame your calendar, your old calendar. That's why
I blame my own calendar. Yes,
Yep.
Because my brain is still a day ahead of myself. Let's see. Media. I watched a few more episodes of Succession, the show on HBO. Also watched the first 2 new episodes of the Righteous Gemstones. Season 2 came out on HBO.
Righteous. Yo, righteous man.
It is pretty good. I have to say. The Righteous Gemstones are pretty good.
I'll write that down. I might have to check it out.
It's on HBO. And you'll have to watch season 1 first to understand season 2, or you won't understand season 2.
One of those. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It makes fun of mega churches.
Oh.
Oh, yes. I watched the movie Old on Apple TV. Old.
And is it an old movie?
No, it is not. It is a new movie about a beach that makes you age 1 year for every 5 seconds you are on the beach or something like that.
I don't want to go to this beach. This is not a beach I want to go to.
No, and so you rapidly age. There was two little kids, a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, and then they're playing, and then they're like teenagers, and then they have sex, and then they have a baby, and then the baby dies because they laid on the blanket for like 5 minutes, but that was the equivalent of being left alone for 4 years. So
what? Because it was no. Mm-hmm. Wow, is this like a depressing show, or
it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie? It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, so it's one of those type of horror movies. So, it was very well put together, a good story, but and a new premise. It's always nice to see new premises. For movies.
That's a total new. It's nice to not have the same thing over and over again.
Right, and then I watched the newest Spider-Man movie. Also.
Like every time I talk.
Yes.
Not the Spider-Man movie. My sentence kind of lagged.
Yes. Every time you talk.
Like the new Spider-Man movie. Like every time I talk.
Yes. Spider-Man.
Yeah. So how is it? I haven't seen the new one yet. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good. It's long, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. And,
nice.
And all the Spider-Men are there from the various multiverses.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah. Well, It better be good because isn't it like number 2 in the box offices of all time or something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's probably okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you media?
I watched the next few episodes of Agretsuko for lunchies.
Agretsuko, yes.
And like that. We finished the last season. So we finished the series of Mike and Molly.
Okay.
And it's a good overall show. It was a really good ending for a show that have been there from the beginning. So if you've seen Mike and Molly from the beginning and kind of stayed with it and everything, you really appreciate it. And it's a really good ending. I mean, they put it together really well. And it's a good one of those endings that makes sense. And it's not a cliffhanger. It's just a really good ending. And good. Sure. I mean, as we've talked about, it's formulaic and a little bit trite in a way is the word we learned. But overall, actually, it's, I think, a really good story overall. And it did make me laugh quite many times over the 6 seasons. So nice. I do recommend checking out for any of you furs that haven't seen Mike and Molly yet. Check that out and see what you think. So we did that, and we started season 3 of, you might remember I talked about Happy Endings. It's a little sitcom kind of show, and it had the gay frat, well, it's not really a frat boy, but the gay boy that's not a stereotypical gay boy. It's okay. It's not as good as the previous season so far, but, we're watching it. It's entertaining. It's amusing. Wow, we've been doing a lot of stuff as far as media goes this week.
Yeah.
We continued, I think last week I talked about we started the newest season, so season 2 of The Witcher.
Okay. Haven't started that yet.
So it's not a spoiler because this is just from our opinion. So it's nothing about the storyline or anything like that. So it's not a spoiler, but I've got to say, we've seen a few episodes and there's a lot of talking and it's kind of boring and keeps putting my honey to sleep.
Oh, well, that's not good.
So we probably won't finish the season, and in fact, we've moved on to other things. But don't let me stop that from you or any furs watching it, because there are interesting things in it. It's just there's a lot of like plot line buildup and everything, and so it probably gets more action filled and stuff a little bit later and everything. I'm just guessing. So all you furs still watch it. It's still a good show. Just we're not going to watch the season anymore.
We're not going to watch it.
We're not. Anyway, unless a lot of furs say, yeah, no, Taebyn, keep watching. You can do it. So maybe we'll see. Also, we watched, have you heard of the show Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp and Michelle Pfeiffer? Yes. Oh, you have? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we watched that.
Okay. All right.
So
well, that's a movie.
It is a movie. And it's based on a 1968 soap opera, actually, that was very famous. It went on for five seasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So for any fur that doesn't know the movie Dark Shadows, with Johnny Depp, which he plays a vampire, and he's so good in this role. You know, Johnny Depp is really great in these kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The adjective, not morbid, but
dark,
kind of dark
humorous,
roles. Yeah,
dark humor. Yes.
So yeah, it's a really good movie. I really liked it. Directed by Tim Burton. So I mean, that kind of gives you a hint. You first out there for what kind of movie it is. And so after the movie, we liked it, and my honey got all like kind of inspired and was like, I want to check out that Dark Series original series again, because he had seen it back in the day, or has seen it before. So we tried watching the first episode. We got like a quarter of the way through, and we're like, let's move on. No, you did that too.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, I did that too. Yep.
Yeah. It's a famous back from 1968, but not now.
No, and the funny thing about that is the one thing that I noticed or made a comment to myself, because I was only watching it, was like, wow, everybody is smoking.
Right. It was back in those days.
Back in those days where every character smoked while they were filming. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yes. So lesson learned, all you furries, you don't have to watch the original to know how the new one is. Go ahead and watch it. It's kind of a sort of vampirish movie, but not really. They classified it as an American fantasy horror comedy, which is kind of an interesting conglomeration of genres.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, that was cool. And then we started, so there's this movie called He's All That. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
It's relatively recent, and one of the co-stars is Robbie from Cobra Kai. He's older now and everything. He doesn't play a karate guy, or it's totally different. He does a good job playing a totally different character. Anyway, we started that. I thought, when my honey put it on, I thought it was a series. The description made it sound like a TV series. Like, okay, let's start season 1 if He's All That. So I totally didn't understand that. And so, we're moving along and everything, and it's getting late. We're getting tired. We're like, and he's starting to fall asleep. And it's like, okay, maybe we should stop. I'm sure it's the pilot episode. It's got to almost be done. We'll just stop now and go to bed, finish it in the morning or something. So I stop it, and there's 50 minutes left. It's like a 2-hour pilot. So I'm like, this is a long season or something. And so I asked my honey the other day, like, wow, those are long episodes. He's like, well, it's a movie. And that explains that. So that was my journey that I felt I had to take you with me for some reason. I apologize to every fur out there that I just went through all that.
Well, no, we were talking about media, and that was what you were watching.
And that's what I was watching, and I realized that I'm silly pup. So that was my media for the week. I'm done. We can go on to this or that. Yay.
This or that. Very first one. Would you rather have your most embarrassing moments uploaded to the internet, or have your entire life streamed for all time?
Well, I mean, they're kind of the same thing in a way. It's like, my life, I'm a pup. My life is an embarrassing moment. So I might as well just get it all out there for all the world to see. Let's just have it streaming for all time. Let's just do it.
All right. Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks. When you want to see Taebyn streams, just tune into the all Taebyn channel all day. All day, all night, all Taebyn.
All cringe, all day, all night.
Okay. Would you rather share a 5-star hotel with someone you hate, or a 1-star hotel with someone you love?
Oh. I think I've actually done that second thing. So let's just go for the second thing.
Okay. All right. You stayed in a 1-star hotel? Ooh.
Well,
that must be terrible.
I don't know if it was, but it very well could have been.
If it was, you'd have the honeymoon suite. It was a heart-shaped bed with silk, and it vibrated.
Well, and it was in the shape of 1 star too. So like,
yes,
that
it was a 1
star right there.
Okay. All right. Well, now, would you rather be in a movie or on a TV show?
Is it a TV series?
It just says show.
I'm reading into it too much. Once again,
yeah.
How about the show? I'll just go for a show so that maybe I can get our licenses renewed so that I can, do another season, I guess.
There we go. Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Would you rather celebrate Christmas every day or never celebrate your birthday?
Wait. Okay. All of a sudden, I'm having trouble with that. So say that again.
Would you rather celebrate Christmas every day
Okay.
Or never celebrate your birthday.
I mean, do I still get like my birthday if I do the Christmas thing, and Christmas if I do the birthday thing?
I don't know. Again, you're reading into it.
Again, I'm reading into it. Well, Christmas is a lot of work, so I'm just going. Oh wait, but never have my birthday. This is a really, when you start thinking about this is a really difficult logic thing. I'm going to think about this and do this for the past today next time, actually, because this is taking a lot of like work. It's like a paradox somehow.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Okay.
Totally. That was an easy one. That was easy.
All right. And another, chicken pox or measles?
Well, I mean, once you have chicken pox, you can't get them again, I guess. So I'll just go chicken pox.
All right. There you go. And that's it. Done them all.
Okay, like that.
Well, not all of them. We still have about 2,040 to go.
Oh, so right. Okay. So we're. Well, I feel productive about. I mean, we got another the past today for this week out of it. So there you go.
Okay, it's time now for Furries in the News.
The soundtrack is coming on so that I can talk about how now we are going to talk about. What are we going to talk about, you might ask? That's a very great question. We're going to talk about how the furries are in the news. Pork.
I like the little foghorn at the end.
Pup horn, as it were.
The little pup horn. Pup horn, leghorn, yes.
Oh, my cow.
Foghorn, leghorn.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
talk about chicken pox.
Rah. So, as many people have read and heard, because it made mainstream media.
Oh, yeah.
The litter boxes in Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, how people run with stuff like this, I don't know.
Come on.
I mean,
talk about, normies ruin everything, right?
Right. Absolutely. Normies ruin everything. I mean, how do you even, no. Okay. So I suppose for those that don't know what we're talking about.
Can I tell them? Can I tell them?
Yes, please tell them. Go for it.
Okay, so yes, for that doesn't know, it started
and how
with a
you
comment.
Don't know, I don't know.
Exactly. That's we've got another like logic puzzle here. How you don't know. It started with a comment at a school board meeting, which was later amplified by a Michigan State Republican leader and culminated with a school superintendent explaining that. Are you ready? Had to explain that, no, there were no litter boxes on school grounds for students to use if they identified as furries.
Right. So,
and this superintendent goes on to say, it is unconscionable that this afternoon I am actually sending this communication. The superintendent of Midland Public Schools, Michael Sherrill, had to write recently on Thursday. So, yeah, there's that.
It's just crazy. It's like, what? I have alerts for all of my, because the world needs more alerts. So be alert. But I have alerts for furry stuff so that I can have things to talk about in Furries in the News. Well, not only did this come up in my furry alerts, it came up in my regular news feed alerts.
Oh, really?
Other things. Yeah, it was, It was the first thing on the Apple News feed the other day.
Oh my cow, really?
Yes.
Whoa, people, come on. I mean, this is crazy. Okay,
it's just common sense. It's like, no, and the size of the litter boxes would have to be humongous.
I would think so.
Reality, yeah. It's like
it brings a whole new meaning to if it fits, it sits. I mean,
so it's like, no.
Oh my cow. Okay,
you people are wacky.
Normies, they and their ruining of everything.
Right. Okay.
So that's Furries in the News. That's quite a Furries in the News, I must say.
That was quite the Furries news, but it really wasn't Furries in the news. It was Normies.
It was a normie. I know. See, they're trying to take
Normies
over
in the news, taking over the furry stuff. Yes.
Not only that, but taking over our segment of the show. Why do they want to ruin us like that?
They ruin everything, right? All right. Well, upcoming events. Nordic FuzzCon has been canceled. So anybody that was going to go to Sweden to go to Nordic FuzzCon, they're having a spike in the COVIDations. So
Are they thinking about postponing or just canceling for the year?
It just is canceled on the website.
So keep looking at the website to see if there's more information forthcoming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or fifth coming.
Or fifth. Or 10 millionth and
10 millionth coming, yes.
I don't know. We talked last week about the new con in Seattle, Oregon, Get Off the Float.
No, it was Seaside, and it was Get Out the Float.
What did I just say?
You said Seattle and Get Off the Float.
The new con in Seattle, Oregon.
Right.
I am wrong on so many levels.
So many levels there.
So in order to be sure about what this is called, tell us barely officially, where is it and what is it called?
It's Get Out the Float. And it's in Seaside, Oregon.
Yes. So that thing that barely just said, thank you. Yes. We talked about last week. That was exciting and everything, but it has been canceled. They canceled it just, obviously within the last week. So they're being careful and everything like that. And there's other things. I was talking about the organizer about it and everything. Anyway, it seemed like the right thing to do. They're sad. I'm not sure if they are just postponing the dates or if they're canceling it for the year, but the website, so you can still go to getoffthefloat.org, I think it is, and go to their website, and they have a note, it's canceled, but we're leaving up the website so you can still read all about it. And they don't plan on taking down the website because they still want people to know.
Right. Because it was brand new. So
brand new. They want people to know. And so I'm sure when they find out when they're going to have it next, either next year or postponing the dates, they'll let them know. So check that out. Support new local con that will happen sometime in Oregon.
Sometime. Of course, coming up, we've talked about these three before.
New Hampshire, Oregon. What am I talking about?
Well, yes. February 11th through the 13th is ScotiaCon in Nova Scotia. ScotiaCon is not in Nova Scotia. ScotiaCon is in Glasgow, Oregon. Wow, we are all over the place.
We are all over the cow on this one.
We are. And I haven't even had but like 4 ounces of podcast fluid tonight. So we're good.
Well, I'm going to go to Orlando, Venezuela and visit, Uncle Sam.
Right. Okay. So ScotiaCon, which is in Glasgow, United Kingdom on February 11th through the 13th. Furcon New Zealand, same weekend in Otaki, New Zealand.
You got that right.
Yes. And the 17th through the 20th of February is Anthro New England in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, these are still happening as of the recording of this podcast.
It's the January 27th. As of now, they're still going on.
They're still going on. But keep posted. Check their websites to see if you're going to go and see if they're still going to happen, especially, Boston, Massachusetts.
And no matter what happens, get vaccinated, get boosted, be a good fur. Let us all wake together. That's the only way we're going to wake together at these things. Anyway.
Yes, wear a KN95 or an N95 mask.
Or
get rid of those cloth masks.
Yeah, that's right. That did a thing now. And what do I have to say about that, Barely?
Wear your mask. Get your free masks. Get your free COVID tests.
Yes,
all of that.
Yes. All of that. Yes. That's exactly what I was going to say. Actually, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to say. So thank you for helping me figure it out, Mr. Barely. Do all of that.
You're quite welcome. I put that in your head.
We just did a PSA. Right. How did we get so
fabulous
and fabulous?
We're fabulous. We're just fabulous.
We are. Oh my cow. What's going on?
Taebyn, what are you talking about?
I have no idea, but thanks for asking.
And truly, he has no idea, ladies and furs. Okay.
That is so very true. So let's move on. Let's get me done talking about that so I can talk about
math.
Yay!
What have you got for math for us this week? Oh, mathy pup.
Oh, mathy
not
pup.
Spelly pup, as in the chat. Somebody said spelly pup, and I read smelly pup. I was like, he's not smelly.
Smelly? That's right. And Rain said no, not a smelly pup. So thank you. Shout out to Rain for that. Yes. I approve that message. So this week, actually, it's nice. It kind of follows the theme, not last week, but 2 weeks ago when I talked about math. That week I talked about constructible geometry. So straight edge and compass geometry, where you solve geometric problems with only using a compass, meaning the thing that makes a little circle thingy, and a straight edge, like a ruler. Mm-hmm. And that was fun and exciting. And we solved a few kind of quote-unquote problems together, and that was fun.
We did. Yes.
And so this week I want to talk about things called constructible numbers. Very much related. Yeah.
Constructible numbers.
Again, more fun things to think about, which actually has very surprising consequences, which I'll talk about in a bit. Constructible numbers has both a geometric definition and an equivalent algebraic definition.
Okay.
First, I'll talk about the geometric definition and give you a few examples, and I'll talk about the algebraic stuff. So a constructible number it's a real number, so like a rational fraction, whatever, a real number, such that if you can make a line segment, like if you can construct a line segment out of only using compass and straight edge, line segment of that length is called a constructible number.
Okay.
Oh, and in a finite number of steps. Actually, the finite number of steps is pretty important eventually. For example, the number 1. How can you construct the number 1 out of straight edge and ruler? Well, take a paper and mark down 2 points. Not the same point, 2 different points. And call one of them 0, 0. So if you were thinking of like points in the XY plane, that's kind of what we're thinking. Okay. Label it 0, 0. And then the other point theoretically is going to be to the right of 0, 0. Call it 1, 0.
Okay.
And so if you draw a line between them, the length of that, call it 1. So we just constructed the number 1.
Oh, look at that. Hooray.
There it is. That's what it looks like. And then from that, we can construct the number 2. So draw a line through 0, 0 and 1, 1. Or sorry, 0, 0 and 1, 0. So like a straight line just straight through.
Okay.
Now, take your compass and use it to draw a perfect circle with the center at 1, 1 and then going through the 0, 0. So you now have a circle where 0, 0 is on the edge and the 1, 0 is in the middle. The other place where the circle intersected, that intersection point, call that the point 2, 0.
Okay.
And so the length from 0, 0 to 2, 0 is the number 2. So you have now constructed the number 2.
If you say so.
Okay. So you can construct, I guess I'll just keep talking then. Well, so you've constructed the number 2 because you have drawn with only a straight edge and a compass, a segment of length 2, because we defined what a length 1 segment is when you first drew the number 1.
Okay.
That's like what we would call 1 unit is what you drew there. It's not necessarily an inch. It's not a centimeter. It's just, that's 1 unit. So that's what we're calling the number 1.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So in summary, for any other fur that might be a little bit lost, like poor little Barely here. So you can, another way to say it is we'll define, like, we're not like drawing the number 1, like an actual number 1, like you normally do. You're drawing a line segment of length, what we're going to call 1.
Okay.
And then the second thing you did was you constructed a line having exactly double the length of the original line.
Okay.
So it has a length 2 if we've defined the original line segment to be 1.
That's 1. Gotcha.
So that's why that's the number 2. Okay.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. It's like draw a line. Okay, that's number 2. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
No, I totally.
So if I draw a third line, that's number 3. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Just draw a bunch of lines all over the place.
And
that's
then
the
number them.
5006.4.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's the number. Yes.
No, I understand. Okay, so now that's why that's the number 2, and you can imagine you keep doing this. Make circles just on throughout your number line, so you can draw every natural number. In fact, every integer.
Okay.
So in fact, so we get all the integers this way. If you remember last time when we talked about constructing things, we talked about the perpendicular bisector. You can use straight edge and compass just to draw the perpendicular. So you can draw a perpendicular line from that. And I won't get into it here because it takes a little bit more explaining. But from that, you can construct fractions, actually. And in fact, from that, you can construct square roots. So the square root of 2, for example, is a number, a real number. Okay. And it turns out that from just these geometric things we're doing, you can draw a line having length square root of 2. which is really cool and weird if you think about it. Just with a straight edge and a compass, you can draw something. Any given number, you can draw a line having that length. It's really pretty cool. Now, so the algebraic definition, it's proved. It's actually, the proof isn't too bad, but you can prove there's an equivalent algebraic definition of this, of a constructible number. And it is that a number is constructible if it has a quote-unquote closed form expression. That just means you can write that number in terms of integers and only the operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and square roots. I mean, that's an equivalent definition, which is actually a little bit easier to understand, actually. That's the algebraic definition. And so what this does is it involves the equivalence of these definitions, allows us to change purely geometric questions into purely algebraic questions, which is really cool in that now we can take a geometric problem and prove things algebraically that previously could not have been proved, or we haven't been able to using geometric things. For example, there are problems that have been quote unquote defied centuries of attack trying to prove things geometrically, but algebraically we've been able to. For example, and we talked about, for example, last time we talked about squaring the circle. So that's a purely geometric problem where can you construct a square having the same area as a given circle? Okay. And that was unknown for a long time. And we talked about how the proof actually relies on transcendental numbers, and therefore it's actually a purely algebraic proof. But it was unknown for a long time whether or not it was possible or not. And, it turns out it's not possible, but that wasn't known until we could prove it algebraically. Another example is doubling the cube, meaning similarly, purely geometrically, you can state it as given the edge of a cube, say length 1, whatever, can you construct, using only compass and straight edge, a cube whose volume is exactly double the original cube. So it's kind of the three-dimensional analog in a way of squaring the circle. But it wasn't known for a long time if you could just do that. In fact, this problem was originally posed in 380 BC. Wow. And then when finally people did this algebraically, and the algebraic equivalent problem is can we construct the number cube root of 2, it was shown in 1837 by Pierre Wansel that it was impossible. So literally centuries went by, and we did not even know the answer until we could think more algebraically about the thing. Another problem we talked about last time, bisecting an angle, we did geometrically. Compass, and it wasn't hard, really. And so a natural question is, what about trisecting the angle?
Oh, no.
Dun, dun, dun.
Trisecting
it. Just try it.
Exactly. Just try it. Just give it a shot.
If you try it, you'll find out it's impossible. But they didn't know that way back then until, again, in 1837, the same guy, Pierre Wansel, proved algebraically that it's impossible. So, in summary, this is all very cool, fun things to think about. And generally speaking, looking at problems in different but equivalent ways is not only fun, but it can also help you solve problems that were seemingly previously impossible. So, and that's what we can learn about that. And that is my math for the week.
Woohoo! Mathy pup.
Fun times had by all, I hope.
I think my brain hurts a little, though.
Yeah, that's what I try and do.
My brain hurts just a little, but that brings us to the end of our podcast again.
My cow. Again?
Again.
How did that even happen?
I mean, can you believe that it's been an hour already? I don't know how that hack goes by so fast. I mean, I look at the time, and then I look at the time, it's like, oh, wow, we have gone a long way.
Done, cow.
And we thank all of our listeners for sticking with us for this time. Again, if you have suggestions for folks that you would like to hear us interview on the podcast, please send them in. We would love to chat with the expressive furs.
I like how you said that. Send them in. Just send in the fur in. Don't even send their name in. Just send them in.
They'll be knocking on my door. Hi, I'd like to be on your podcast. Oh, okay, come on in.
It'd be even faster. Just send them through the Telegram waves. Just microlize them, and they'll send them to the chat. Yeah,
it'd be so much nicer if we had reporting instead of having to drive cars and all that kind of stuff.
That actually reminds me of, what was it? I tweeted something about something you said. Let me go back and remember. What was that?
You tweeted something you say.
Yeah, and you replied.
I did.
Yeah, or someone did.
On a tweet? I never replied to
maybe it was Ziggy that did. Let me go back and see. Then maybe you didn't see this. I thought it was awesome. There it is. Yeah. So I tweeted because you had said, when you posted the link for, or not, what am I even trying to say? The description or something for one of the recent podcast episodes. Okay. You said you were asking questions, and then you said, well, as a final question, you said, will I stop making questions? And so I tweeted, lol, will I stop making questions? Because I just thought that was awesome how you said it. Quote unquote, you liked the tweet, but it wasn't you apparently. Anyway, that reminded me of that. I thought it was awesome.
It was probably Ziggy, who's our social media manager now. So he takes care of a lot of that stuff. So there we go. So
thank you, Ziggy, for liking my tweet. I hope you knew what that was about.
My brain hurts from the numbers we constructed. I didn't realize I was going to be doing construction work today. But
you did. Did you have your hard hat?
I did. If you construct it on construction paper, if you do those on construction paper, you've got double constructed numbers.
You do. So we can doubly construct.
And there, I've never thought about construction paper, but I've never used construction paper to construct anything.
Neither have I. I used it to I guess I used it to construct waste in my basket, but
no, I take that back. As a child, we used to make the ring chains for the Christmas tree. You'd cut them into strips.
Oh, that's right.
Make a circle, tape it, put the circle through there, make the little construction paper chains for the Christmas tree. Yes. Anyway. So, again, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us. We get off the rails so often, so fast, so quick.
But
yes.
Like we just did in the closing. Like you were just saying, okay, we're done. And then, hey, I'm just going to take off the rails.
Let's talk about construction paper. Put those wheels back on the train. Get it back on the track, for crime's sakes.
Oh, my cow.
Oh, my cows are coming home because...
to dinner.
Because it's past your bedtime.
Yeah, anyway. I see what you did there. That was a thing from last week.
Throwback from last week. Right.
So you first go back to last week and write us in if you find the reference that Barely just did about past your bedtime.
Send us messages. Send us love. Send us hope. Send us hope. Okay. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I think I'm going to end the show right now. I'm just going to say Moobarkfluff and stay furry. Taebyn, close us out, please. I need to shut up.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much for all your furs. It's been lots of fun for the past hour. I've had a great time with Barely and talking the normal nonsense that I do. I hope all you furs did too. Listen to that beautiful music in the background. Anyway, yes, we appreciate so much that you listen to us and hope you listen and like us. That'd be great. And support us by doing that. And that's just amazing. So I'll just say... we hope you have a great week until we bark at you next week to have some more fun and hoot-land-dee, whatever that word is. And until next time, Moobarkfluff, stay furry, bark, bark.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded, and directed by me, Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by myself and our associate editors Rain Raccoon and Bixby Wolf. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through SilvermanSound.com, Gator Tots on SoundCloud.com, and the YouTube Free Use Library. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.